So ice would be less dense because its mass is spread out. More. There we go. Let's get a word that finishes. Mass is spread out. Okay, so which has more mass, a liter of water or a liter of ice? So same volume. Fogo, what do you think?
Water.
Yes, why?
Because the ice takes more space and therefore there would be less.
In that same volume, yes. So which one has more mass? The water. Because there would be more particles in the same amount of area. So water particles take up less space, and because they take up less space, there can be more of them in the same area. Okay, so let's look what a fluid is. So a fluid is anything that you can go through, basically. It's anything that doesn't have a fixed shape, that yields easily to external pressure. Basically means you can travel through it. So fluid is any substance without a fixed shape that can be easily manipulated. This is a long, complicated way of saying liquids and gases. That's really what they are. Fluids are liquids and gases.
Is silly putty a fluid?
You can't really travel through silly putty really well. You could? You could swim through silly putty? I suppose.
Well, you can't swim through the air. You can make a machine that does it though.
Well, you can walk through the air.
Yeah, you can travel through the air pretty easily. Okay. So, with silly, I guess I would call silly putty, I would not say it's a fluid because it does have a fixed shape unless you manipulate it. So that's why I would say it's not. I would say it's not a fluid. Okay. All right, density. So I wanted you to look through some of the density stuff. What are some questions we could come up with that we should know the answer to about density? Start with something simple. Braden. Is weight density the same as density? Is that what you said? Yeah. Okay. And what's your answer? No. So you're not really sure? We're going to put that in B then. Just draw an arrow down to B. Because I do want to talk about weight density versus mass density. So let's put that down in B. Just draw an arrow down to B. Because I do want to talk about that. But that's more of a clarifying sort of thing. Okay, what's another question and answer we can come up with about density? Yeah.
What is density?
An excellent beginning, yes. What is density? And Gabe, what is density?
I think is how much mass is in a fixed area.
Yeah. It's the amount of mass in a fixed space. Okay, so it's how heavy a thing of some size feels. It's not just how heavy something is, right? Because if I just like, oh, this marble is more dense than this, well, this is heavier, but it's because it's a lot larger. So we got to compare things to similar sizes. For example, this is a very dense material. Pass it around, you can feel it. It's a very small size. You expect it to not be that heavy. It is not what you expect. It's not lead. Yeah, don't throw it at people.
I was waiting for you to just.
So the first question is, what is density? It's the amount of mass in a fixed space. I like that definition. That's a good one. Okay? What else can we say about density? What's another question and answer we can come up with about density?
I don't know the answer to this one.
Yeah.
But how do you solve for it?
Good. So let's go with what's the equation? Yep. So what's the equation? The equation is density equals mass over volume. By the way, that looks like a P. It's not actually a P. It's the Greek letter rho. I'm sure you all knew that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. I actually didn't know that. I know Greek letters.
And what is this?
It's the, huh?
What is this?
It's a zinc iron alloy. So it's zinc and iron mixed together. That's why it's not all rusted, but it's somewhat rusted. Yeah, you just pass it behind you. Okay. All right. What else? It's another nice big one out there. One more large fish in the sea. What is the meaning of what? Like, no, not that one. Oh, so weighted density, so that's a good one. We'll put that in the clarifying. Weight density is this times G. Is this times G. Oh, good. The last one I'm going to use is, what is the unit? The unit we're usually going to use is kilograms per meter cubed. You can use grams per centimeter cubed, and we will use that sometimes. But for the most part, we're going to stick with kilograms per meter cubed.
It's just mass divided by volume.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is,
Yep. And so you can use any combination of mass and volume units that you want. You can even use slugs if you want to use it. You can use slugs. Slugs. Slugs are the English unit for mass.
Oh, they just know the name. I thought slugs like the animal.
You could, no. The name, yeah, the name, it's a poorly chosen name. But the name for mass in English units is slugs.
what about stone?
Jake, catch.
No.
Yeah, not pro catch. Stone is like an old English one. All right, so let's clarify. What's the difference between mass density and weight density? So mass density is constant. Weight density depends on gravity.
Gravity is fake though.
So it depends on the warping of space-time. Does that make you feel better? Everything's going to be super complicated with Gabe from now on.
It always has been.
Well, that's true.
But now I have facts.
I was going to say, it always was complicated. Now it's just because that's him. But now it's complicated because he has knowledge to go with
Every
it.
single unit, we just gave him more ways to complicate it.
Oh, just wait till we get to special, or not special, when we get to quantum mechanics.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever find that math thing you said?
Huh?
Oh yeah, the quantum.
Oh, yeah, you said
math
we can
problem
solve
that you
it.
said you were gonna show us on the page.
Oh, I haven't looked for it. I know where my old stuff is. I just haven't looked through it.
Wow. Can we take a...
Yeah, unfortunately, I have other things in my life of higher priority,
Like what?
like my family.
You're a teacher,
You're
you
telling
live
me
here, I
the
don't think
quantum
you're-
physics is down here and then family is up here?
Yeah, I am. That is exactly what I'm telling you.
I
Yes,
think we should prove quantum mechanics.
we should prove it wrong.
Quantum mechanics are fake.
Well, you said wrong. I said we should prove it.
It's already proved.
Okay. Yeah, it is proved. All right. Let's look at a summary. So here's a nice summary that I like. So density is the property of a material that states how heavy or light something of a certain size feels.
What?
I'll write it down.
Please do.
You can write down your own summary, but here's the one I like. So density is a property of an object that states how heavy or light something of a certain size feels. It's a way of comparing objects. So if an object is heavy and another object is heavy, we can compare them to each other by making them the same size. And then they won't be the same heaviness. One will be heavier than the other, and that's the one that's more dense. So object density is how much space it takes up. And if you make the space the same, then you'll have different densities of objects. The reading talks about, I think it says iridium is the most dense object because it's heavy and the particles are really close together. So it's that combination of thing that does that. So